Howdy, how guys? We're back and we're going to do yellow.
Or
So
green.
this is. Are
YOLO.
we doing green?
We're doing green. YOLO.
Okay.
We can do it
Well,
in whatever order we want.
totally not looking at. So green.
Okay.
There.
Uh, yeah. 3-2. Friendly siblings Mika. 8-5.
Mika?
If you have two of in your waiting room, this gets -1 level in hand. Uh, it's not a bad summon condition.
You're breaking up pretty badly right now.
Yeah, we're getting like half your words.
Wonderful. How about this?
Better.
Better, okay. So, friendly siblings Mika is a 3-2-8-5 that gets -1 level in hand if you have two or more other of the same card in waiting room.
Yep.
It's not a very favorable advanced summon condition, but it is a advanced summon, which is something that the yellow-green deck kind of wanted, I guess. They didn't want to play 4 of this, I'll say that much.
This is not
But it has-
the really someone was looking for.
That's other ability. So, if you have this place companion, you're the top
Not
card of your
yet.
deck. Again.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and fix my mic.
Alright, well, while he's fixing his mic, I will be speaking the effects. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a level 1 or lower, you may put this into stock. Otherwise, put it back
that
where...
card in.
Yeah, put that
that
card in
card in.
stock. Put that card into stock, not this card, the card you revealed. Otherwise, put this card back where it was, and climaxes are level 0 for this effect. When this card attacks, choose one of your characters, and that character gains 4k power for the turn. This card is not good. No.
How do I? Where do we play this? Like, what's the reason for this card existing? Like,
Well, you
what
have
does this do
issues
in
on
the
all
transformation deck?
Yeah, you have issues on all fronts. One, like, the transformation deck did not have a way to deal with early plays really cleanly. Actually, at all. It did not like facing early plays. It was one of the issues for the deck, but it wasn't, like, substantial enough to, like, be game-losing most of the time. This card, I guess, sort of deals with that, but the early play condition is awful. You can only play it if you have 2 or more in the waiting room, and that's not good. That means you basically have to run 4 of this to make it at all playable, which is awful. One, it's an 8,500 base power card. So, like, even with the 4K pump, it's not even big enough to get over certain early plays.
Like, if it wasn't for that middle ability, it would be 9,500, and that would be okay-ish. But 8,500 is so. Oh,
You can't, this card is unplayable.
it's bad.
It's bad.
I think unplayable was a little strong, but I don't think it's very good at all, no.
I give it the bad rating. It's very rare for double rare to actually get the bad rating, but this is like one of those cards that, like, it's so detrimental to your deck building strategy that I can't imagine this card being good.
It's 300 yen on Unite.
Yute agrees with me.
Yeah, and yet people are trying to hawk the sign for 100 USD.
People like me.
I
Next,
like Mikon, but not that much.
a good card.
Next card, Waking Up in the Morning, Yui. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
3-2-9-5. When this is placed from hand to stage, draw up to 1 card. You may draw 0 if you so wish. And this gains 2k for the turn.
Woo!
So 11-5 on play. When your opponent uses startup effect, including counters, so counters, brainstorms, tap to buff, tap to whatever,
Not events.
this gets not events, no. So it gets more power if that happens, and when the battle opponent of this reversed, if someone I'm interested in,
Gold
which
bar.
is a bar climax, is in the climax zone, you may put that card to clock.
So this is I'm gonna call it a better version of the Milky Holmes one. It's better in most circumstances. It's worse in very few. This card is great. It's a cantrip, it self-pumps, it's a climax combo clock kick, and it has this sweet extra ability that says if your opponent uses counters, they're less good.
This is everything the set 1 Yui should have been.
Yeah, now that card is relegated to a 1 of tech, and this is a 4 of, because it's great.
I'm not complaining, this card is really good.
This card is
and
good.
it's Yui.
It's a good
But-
card. It's not meta. Meta cards are all in blue, actually, but this is very good. Well, not all of them, but...
Yeah, this is the card that should have been printed. And now it has been printed, and Alien is going... Not Alien. Animal is going to be an actual deck now.
Woo! This card is
Yay.
very good, though. Next.
Invitation for Dinner, Mika. All of your other characters with either Transformation or Housework gain +1 level, and it's got a filter bond, so you can discard a card from the hand to Waiting Room to salvage Precious Little Sister Yami, which is a 1065 with an ability we'll cover when we get to it.
Yeah, and then this also gives all of your Transformation Housework characters +1 level. Discard bonds are the weakest bonds of them all.
However, the +1 level is relevant for that specific Yami because it can't do stuff without being a higher enough level.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty good card in Melty, so it's clearly a good card here. Right. We'll get to that.
All in all, this card is just playable. It could even be niche.
I don't even know where it fits. I don't know where it fits.
It's niche because it only really supports one card, and that one card, while okay, it doesn't really help anything else.
Alright, moving to the Brainstormer. This is another very good card that Animal is so happy to have.
Friend Summoning System, Yui. So it's a 0015 Brainstorm. 1 cost spammable Brainstorm. For every climax you hit, search your deck for a character with either animal or plant, add it to hand, then discard a card from hand to Waiting Room. And it also has tap this card, choose a character with either animal or plant trait, and that character gains 1k for the turn.
This card is very good. It's very, very good.
Spammable Brainstorms are always
I like
good.
how the Sunbeams block Rito's face. Anyways, it's a spammable Brainstormer, something that it didn't have before. Not that you really needed it to get through your deck, but it's also a good support. The tap effect to give 1,000 is, again, much better now that the Haruna from set 1 is like a more playable card than before because of the new Haruna in this set. So I like this card. Probably 2 of an animal deck. Maybe 1, but I like 2.
Seems
I'd do
seems
1.
good. I want 2 mostly because of the spammable Brainstorm.
So this card is also good for me.
Yeah.
I might only do 1 if I'm playing 2 of the Nana Brainstorm.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would still be running the Nana Brainstorm, so that would be just a 1 of.
Yep.
Next is something I don't think is very good, but
I think it's pretty fine. Wormhole Accident Yui, 004k. You cannot play events or backups from your hand.
I just dislike
That
this
is
because
completely fine.
you got a sweet new event counter, and this says no to that.
But
Just
when are
run
you
it
playing
in.
this outside of level 0? Like,
But if you
just
run
run-
this
run
in,
it
you
in.
can't play that sweet new event counter.
Oh, good
I mean,
point.
like,
That's a little annoying, but I still think this card is fine.
I mean, it's fine. I'm just not going to play it. It's a playable beater if you want it. I'm just not going to
Sure.
play this one.
okay.
That's
fair.
fair. I think it's playable.
I think it's playable.
I think it's playable too. It's just like, this is not the beater I'm going to be using because I want to be playing a 2-3 event that we'll get to.
Yeah, the anti-synergy of the 2-3 event is pretty bad, but I still think the card is like, whatever.
Alright.
Well, I'm like,
Alright.
in this case, I mean, like, it's just, you run it as 2 of it, and then you start clocking it and leveling up with it afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're hoping for. But if that doesn't happen, and this is like a card you have to play, then you're really sad.
Oh, what a title. Party Goods Gone Wild Yui.
No,
That
there's
sounds
no
like-
Yui. There's no Yui in this, is there? Oh, there is.
Yeah, it's you.
It's Yui,
Not-
but
Not in the
Not of the
translation.
name.
Okay, yeah.
so aside from being the title of a terrible late night straight to DVD porno, Party Goods Gone Wild is a 1/1 2K. It gives 2K to the center slot front row character that's either animal or plant trait. That was really terribly worded. Your other character with either animal or plant in the front row center slot gains 2K power, and tap puts a character with either animal or plant trait from hand to clock. To choose a character in clock and add it to your hand.
So,
Not sure how I feel about this.
I like this card a lot. The Haruna gives you raw card advantage, not selective card advantage, and this helps you leverage that into better cards, right? Because when you're flipping over Harunas with the Haruna effect, you could be getting God knows what card, and at least with this, you can filter it in a more specific way. You also have the Akatsuki. They both work hand in hand to turn your raw card advantage into basically real card advantage. It's like fetching after a brainstorm. I am currently running this as a 3 of because I just was never disappointed having one in my back row.
I'd be
problem I have
disappointed
with
if I want to brainstorm.
Honestly, I definitely found myself not needing to brainstorm and this at the same time, because usually it doesn't hurt to wait a turn to activate its effect, because most of the time, like, you can set it up in such a way that it's not awful. Also, it does have the distinct issue of being unusable when you have 6 cards in clock, because the cost is to clock yourself, which is really annoying, actually. That's my biggest gripe. As a funny note, though, it does mean that if you're at 0 cards in clock, you can do really funny things. Let's say you're running the 1045 that gets 3k whenever you put a character from hand.
That's the idea. That is the idea of this card.
You can just clock it and then bring that card right back to your hand. So you can always activate that effect. It's just not good at 3-6 or 0-6 or 1-6.
3-6 is horrible.
3-6, you lose the game. But like when you have 6 cards in clock, unusable. This card is still only playable for me, but I was never disappointed in having it in my hand.
My biggest gripe with it is actually just that puts 2 cards in the back row that only provides power to your center slot. Basically, like the left and right sides are going to be completely.
They're a lot weaker, but with climaxes and the fact that one of them does assign a K somewhere else, it usually isn't that big of an issue. At the same time, now your center slot's an AK hand Encore for free.
And Encore. Well, I guess it's
the Haruna gets hand Encore for having 3 or more other.
Oh, that Haruna, sure.
Or if you're running the 6-5, that's now a 9-5 in the center slot.
Sure. I still think this card is only playable, like you said, but
I mean,
it's defensible.
This card is good in the sense that I would definitely run it. I don't think it's good enough to be good. There are enough situations where it's not useful for it to be not good, but it's still a very playable card. And I like how it turns. A lot of this makes the set 1 Haruna a lot better. This and the 0-0 support is what made the Haruna much better in this deck.
Alright. Next card.
This card is a tragedy.
Doki Doki Basu Taimu Mikan. It's a 2-1 counter. 2-1-2-5 counter, mind you, which means it has a snazzy effect. Said snazzy effect is discard a climax from hand. That climax is that the other bar?
Yeah.
No, it's the stock soul.
Oh, rip.
Discard the stock soul from hand to waiting room. When you use the backup of this, so when you play the 2-1 counter, you may pay the cost of discarding climax. If so, search your deck for up to 2 characters with either transformation or housework, add them to hand, and shuffle your deck.
I just hate that it's on backup.
See, I don't know why this searches for transformation and not Taiyaki, because now you're going to be searching Nemesis, and the flavor is all gone.
This card is pretty underwhelming. Sitting on the climax is the biggest problem.
You don't have climax room.
Yeah.
You don't have climax room.
It's not good.
Where in the world are you going to find a room to put a stock soul in?
You don't.
Well, you can. It's just going to be the stock soul that combos with the 1-0 Mikan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, not this one.
Not this one, no. So while this is a nice counter, which takes away 2 potential damage from your deck, it's totally not worth it.
Yeah.
If it was a bar trigger, it would be so much better as a 2-of.
Sure, but you still don't have room for it.
Yeah, you still have climax space. I think this card is bad.
I don't know about bad. It's niche. If you can,
niche.
If you want to,
Mikan waifu deck. There you go.
Yeah, Mikan.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Not that you have any finishes, but.
No, you don't have any finishes. Yeah, there you go. Mikan waifu deck. We found it.
We found it.
Good job, guys.
The niche.
Apple and Snow White. Mikan. So it's a 0-0-2-5. When this is placed from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character with either transformation or housework, this gains 2k for the turn. Put the revealed card back where it was.
Thoroughly outclassed by the 0-0 double rare bomb.
Runner, you mean?
Or runner, I do. And the 500 power doesn't really matter.
I mean, top checking is okay.
500. This gives a 4-5, not a 3-5. 3-5 like the Yami is.
It's 3-5. That's right. It's 1,000. It's 1,000 difference. I still don't like this card.
Still don't think it's good. It's like, if I don't play this card in Animal, why would I play it here?
Yeah, conditional oversize is questionable as it is. I think the card is bad.
If you think of it as a top deck check, I mean, like, it's not something that yellow-green has high access to.
But it's not something you
so
need
it
in
doesn't-
yellow-green either.
Granted. But it is, if you look at it that way, it's a little less bad.
It's a little bit less bad. It's still bad for me. I mean,
Oh yeah, of course, but it's not as bad as it first looks like. Because it is a top deck check effect, it's just not playable.
yeah.
I'm not convinced. It's just not a card I would ever play.
Next.
All right, next.
Encounter in the early morning. So this is the card I thought you were talking about. 1045 Yui. It's a hand Encore, and it has this ability activates up to twice a turn. When a character is placed from hand to clock, this gains 3k.
If there's only a way to activate that first effect on opponent's turn more reliably at level 1, but instead you only have the 2/1 clock swap counter. And that's a promo.
Well, at least this does have Encore.
I don't want to be encoring this every turn.
No, neither do I, but I'm just pointing out there is Encore.
Honestly, I
I'd
don't
play
think,
this at most.
I don't think you play this. I really don't.
Yui waifu deck.
I mean, like it.
Niche.
Even in that deck, I don't think you play this. But
Yeah.
I guess you go for niche because this does get really freaking big sometimes.
You can counter up to like 10k, but I don't know. Next.
Next character, Morning Call Mikan, 105k. When your other character with transformational housework attacks gets 1k for the turn. It's playable. It's a serviceable beta, not particularly good.
I think the one that had
bad.
1500 power was better, but that's in a different trade. I don't think
Also-
you play this.
I think this is bad because there are better ones that, like, you'd rather run the yellow one anyways, right?
Yeah.
You'd rather run the Yami, you'd rather run the Mikan.
Yeah, I'd rather run the Yami. But it's still playable to an extent. I mean, sometimes you want to be diversifying your level 1 threats because of the 1/1 event from set 1. So,
I guess. Okay, fair.
so I'm giving it playable.
It's playable. I don't think
It's playable.
it's terrible. It's still a 107k at in most situations.
The problem with this high card is
yeah.
it's worse in multiples. So,
Just two max.
yeah, 2 is probably fine. More Yui.
So Yui is a 2175.
This is not the right text.
It's a 2175. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose the bottom card of your clock and a character in waiting room with either animal or plant trait and swap them, which is pretty freaking whatever. When this attacks, if waking up in the morning Yui is in your clock, the 3/2, this gets 4k for the turn.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It gets a bad rating.
Why?
Yeah, that's my point. Bad.
It's bad, yeah. I'm trying to think of a way to use that second effect. I guess you put the 3/2 in, but even
And
so,
that's basically it, and that's the only thing it actually does. Nothing else in the set really combos with it. You can't grab cards from your clock really actively except for the 0/0 Mikan Brainstorm.
Yeah.
And that's not the wrong trait,
Yeah, that's not the wrong traits.
so...
Well, you can use the 1/1, but like, there's no point. There's no point. You want that card in your hand.
It's an on-play effect, so you only get it once. So,
It doesn't even trigger
Yeah.
the 1/0 because it's from
Yeah.
waiting room.
Seriously, man alive.
All right, next up, Sucky.
Alright. Sucky. Go Vacuum Kun A. Sucky. Unko. Why is it Unko? It's just A. 2175. When this attacks, if the level of the character opposite this is 3 or higher, this gains XPower for the turn, where X is the number of green characters you have.
Can I call this bad yet?
Encore. Discard a green card from your hand to the
It's
waiting
bad.
room. If you wish.
Please no.
I mean, it gets 12/5. Still bad.
Oh, great. They tried to make mono green a deck from the first set, and it's still not coming together. This is not a card worth running mono green for.
No, this card is loot as hell, though.
No.
Did you
There
expect
is
anything
no
else
reason.
from a set called the Love Room?
Good point. Alright. Guardian while asleep, Rin. 0025. When this attacks, if forbidden relationship between master and servant is in the climax zone, you may sacrifice another one of your characters on stage. If you do, choose a character in your clock, add it to hand, and then clock your top deck. And then this card gains 1 level for the turn.
Oh boy.
I don't know. It's
How
the
great.
climax. The climax is a bar. I forgot to mention that. I have no idea whatsoever what was going through the minds of the developers when they decided +1 level was the bonus this card needed.
I don't know. This card is bad.
Hmm.
I guess it's in the mono green deck. It's the only way to really get out of dealing with enemy bombs. But seriously, man alive, like what
No, that's
are
not
you
true.
getting?
You have Yui.
No, but Yui can only give to. Oh no, never mind. It's not trait based.
Give the character +1 level. Another character
Okay.
+1 level +1k.
Okay,
Yui
never mind
wins.
then. What's the point?
Yep.
What's the point?
Next.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next card is Miniskirt Maid Uniform, Mikan. 003k. When this is placed from hand to stage,
I'm even updating my ratings.
when this is placed from hand to stage, you may swap the bottom card of your clock with a character in waiting room that has either transformation or housework. And when this is reversed in battle, this goes to the bottom of the library. This is more than vanilla, but it's still not very good.
It's bad.
It's actually worse than a vanilla.
That's detriment. Although I guess you can
That
sort of, like,
detriment.
combo with
Bad.
the Brainstormer. I don't know. It's not worth it.
It's not.
Next. I don't even have to update my rating. Vanilla.
Train Panic, Yui. Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Next vanilla.
Oh,
Next.
Invitation for Food, Mikan.
Vanilla.
I don't even know how this happens.
Changing Aya. Assist.
Whoops.
All of your green characters in front of this gain XPower, where X is, well, it's a level assist for green characters, and 1 cost bond to Go-Go, Vacuum Kun, Encore, IA, Sucky. So this is a one cost character with a 1 cost bond to another 1 cost character. No thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Hi.
Oh my god, it's like green is awful or something. Oh my god, updating
Yeah.
this is so slow. There we go.
Charming Yukata Look, Yui. 2175. Oh, this seems familiar. When you level up, this gains 1 cost Encore for the turn, and this activates up to twice per turn. When your character is placed from hand to clock, this gains 3k for the turn.
Can
Yeah,
we just get a copy of the Kotori?
It's bad.
Like, seriously.
It's bad. Alright. And the last card in green. As it turns out, green was a very boring color.
Adhesion Panic, 2/3 event.
That's
Counter. If you have 5 or more characters with either animal or plants, you may choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it.
That's not cat prawl. That's a dildo. Apparently.
Right. That's why it's
I
having
was-
trouble sticking. Okay.
I was going to artfully dodge around that, but I guess it's out in the open now, so
Not safe for work.
take your dildo, shove it. It's a 2/3 tap counter. People who are in the know will be able to play around this, and it also has the annoying drawback of requiring a full field of animal and plant characters. But the upside to this is, I think, worth it. So
Yeah,
This is a card worth
it's basically
playing.
anti-damage.
hmm,
It's worse in certain circumstances. It's better in others. Because it also denies
Yeah.
your opponent a stock. So
which is good.
yeah,
Obviously.
I think the Jack Frost counter costs 2/4.
No. Well, Jack Frost is 2/4, but Tarot Reading is 2/3, and the opponent gets to bounce a character, which is better.
Yeah, well, Terror Reading's like one of the better anti-damages ever printed.
Yeah. And they don't even have to bounce a character if you don't want to. So basically,
Exactly.
it's just...
So I think this card is playable. I don't think this card is particularly special, but it is one of the draws to staying as mono animal as possible and not playing Shizus in the animal deck.
Well, you can play Rito,
Yeah, you can still play Rito. That's playing
and you can play Celine.
that alarm effect though. I
Celine is amazing.
think this card is still just playable though. I don't think it's better than playable, but you still probably run 3 or 2.
I don't like this any higher than 2. If you're running 3,
I-
you're going a little too all in on it, and you're just not getting enough stock for your level 3s.
I had issues
This
where I
isn't.
couldn't draw
It's
this
not
enough,
money counter.
But,
well, it's not. It's not actually money counter, so it's not worth playing it at more than 2. I think.
sure.
Yeah.
I think the card is still just playable. So. Yep.
And we're done green.
No, green was very
We are done with green.
We'll be right back with yellow.
You know.